All right, everyone. So we're going to do a recap, go over the trades from today. Finishing the morning in the green, about halfway to the daily goal, which is pretty good. Not as good as yesterday, but that's okay. First stock I looked at this morning was TIRX. So it's up 85% right now. But this morning, at one point, it was up well over 100%. It was our leading gapper on the day. The move started after hours. So cheaper stock goes from 50 cents a share all the way to $2, pulls back pulls back a little bit. And pre-market was rallying back up, but very thickly traded, orders stacked on the bid, stacked on the offer, a slow moving stock, difficult to make money on, especially as a fast, active trader. Those who are comfortable sitting and holding a position, certainly there were some opportunities, but for quick breakouts, there wasn't much. Okay, so that was TIRX, our leading gapper. And then we had news that came out on BPTH. Sorry, let's see. BPTH actually, so where did this begin? 720. Now let me just pull this up. Now I'm just trying to remember. Did this not have news today? No, okay, I'm sorry. This did have news. There was another one that I was looking at that made a move but had no news. Now, which one was that? Anyways, doesn't matter. Okay, so BPTH has news this morning, and basically, a little after 7 a.m., it starts to move higher. Now, the funny thing on BPTH was that I lost money on my first two trades on it. It was kind of hard to trade. So let's get it dialed in. All right, so BPTH hits my scanner. I then check to see that it's got a news headline, and then I'm looking for my entry. Okay, so it initially popped up to about 4, pulled back, popped up, and right here it had its first kind of nice move as it broke 4 and 410, goes up to 420, 440, and squeezed up to 460. So I ended up buying at 448 right here, just a starter position. I was like, let's just break the ice. Why did I get in there? I got in to anticipate the break through 450. And I just thought, as long as it can hold over 450, our next target is 5. What ended up happening is it went up to 472. I was up 22 cents a share, a little more than that, 25 cents a share. I didn't take any off the table. I was like, all right, this is looking good. In fact, I'm thinking about adding for the move up to 5. And then in this candle here, it drops all the way down to 430. And so when it came back down to break even, I stopped out. I stopped out with I think it was a $12 loss. So it's not a big deal. But anyways, it is what it is. Then it, moments later, rips up to 5. And I was like, golly, all right. So then it pulls back right here. And I buy for the break of 5. Well, then it drops to 460. And I stopped out with a $700 loss. Okay, so now I've had 2 trades in the red. I'm going in the wrong direction. Now, I'm still capping myself at 5,000 shares until I first make over $1,000. So being disciplined in that regard. So then it dips down, it curls back up, and as it curls back up, I got back in at 491 with 2,500 shares. I added at 5, let's see. And by the way, it wasn't on this pop right here. It was actually right down here. Let's see. The low of this candle here was 491. I got in at, actually, no, I'm sorry. It was right here. So I got in right here. It dips down, and I held because I had a smaller position. And then right here as it broke 506, I added to the position. And I took my profit as it squeezed up to 521. So it squeezes up here, and I was like, I'm just going to take my profit. Now, in hindsight, this is where it finally started to pull away, so I actually should have added to it, and ended up missing most of this push right here from 527 up to $6. But I did get myself back to flat on the day. I was, at that point, up $300 on the day after that trade. So then it squeezes here up to this high of 597. It dips down. I buy down here at 590. It pops up to a high of 6 something, and then it dumps down here, and I stop out, and now I'm down 500 on the day. Again, I'm back to red. So I went red twice today. So I started to feel like, man, this thing is like, it's moving, but I keep getting stopped out. Just a little choppy. So then we'll fast forward here to 731. Right here at 731, I end up buying this dip down here with, let's see, 1,500 share starter, added another 1,500 shares at 555, 551, and 577. Sold at 595. Booked a little profit. Then I added back at 590 and 610, sold at 626. Now it's starting to pull away, and that's right here as it hits this high. And then once again, we hit 630 and then dropped here all the way to 565. We kind of rallied back up slowly, and then we started to pull back a little bit. So in this area here, and we can now switch to the 1 minute chart, I was able to lock up about $2,000 of profit. Is it a home run? No, it's not a home run, but you know, it's green and that's fine. And then once the MACD crossed over and we had this nasty rejection, I was like, all right, I'm gonna sit on the sidelines. I'm not gonna touch it. Didn't touch it at all. Through here, no interest. Going into the open, I was like, I'm not trading it at the open. And then it ends up squeezing up here. And after the open, I'm not trading like the first minute. I was like, I'm just gonna wait. It ends up pulling away. I liked this trade here for the break of 657. And it just moved so quick, I kind of missed it. But I did take a dip for the break of 7. And then I added back, and on my last trade, I added at 695, and then I stopped out at 670. And that was right here. It was sort of in this area. I thought I was doing a dip, and then it just kept going lower. And at that point, I was like, okay, I'm going to walk away. So I hit a high today of 2,900, sitting at $2,254.76. Green on the 3 stocks I traded. BPTH was the best. Gave back a little bit off the top, $700 or so, but not too bad. AGBA, got a trade on that, and DCFC got a trade on that. So let's look at AGBA. AGBA was the first. Sorry, no, it wasn't the first. It was where was this? This was at 8 a.m. that I took my trade on this. So this had news that came out, and it squeezes from 48 cents all the way up to 80, 90, $1 a share. It pulls back just for a moment, and it gave a couple different opportunities. We'll look at this on the 10-second chart. So the first clean opportunity was about $1.07. That was right in this area here. So around $1.07, we got this little pullback. That was nice. Goes up to $1.20, then up to $1.30, $1.40. I took a trade right here for the break of $1.45, and it was actually, it was right here. And anyways, I got in lower. I got in a little bit low with 10,000 shares, and then I took some profit. So as soon as I saw it wasn't going, I just was like, I'm getting out of this thing. So anyways, just nothing too exciting for me. At the open, it ended up squeezing into a halt. So if we move this forward here, we'll come into the open. Squeeze into a halt, opens higher, halts down. Opens, rallies back up a little bit, and then boom, drops again. So not clean price action. In fact, there hasn't been anything really clean here at the open. INDO put in a little bit of a move. DJT has put in a little bit of a move, but realistically, today has not been a super clean day. BNTC also put in a move. But you know what's interesting? WISA. Okay, so WISA was one of the stocks that we traded on Tuesday and Wednesday. And this thing squeezed up after hours, back to the sort of high, was looking pretty interesting. Pre-market, it kind of sells off a little bit. And then right here, there was news that came out at 8:45. So this was the headline that came out, and it's signed its fifth licensing deal with major consumer electronics company. Not really to me, like a super significant headline, to be honest. But then suddenly the stock goes from 850 and it just dumps all the way down here to 550. This was horrendous. I was like, what in the way? It's down 40%. Now, it did rally a little bit off the low, but I didn't understand the catalyst for that drop. That kind of came as a surprise to me. I didn't trade it, but I saw it. DCFC, this one hit our scanners a little earlier this morning. As you can see, it squeezed from $4 up to $6. And I did 2 trades on it. My first trade, let's see. My first trade, I bought this dip here at 525, and then it flushed to 475, and I stopped out. I did 500 shares, lost $100, whatever. And then it bounces back up, and there was a bid. So I was like, okay, so I got back in at 525, and it went up to 587. Anyways, small size again, so only made $100 total on it. Recouped the 100 I lost, went into 100 in the green. Although this is actually a perfect profit loss ratio. Average losers on this stock, DCFC, $100. Average winners, $200. Accuracy was 50%. I only took 2 trades. One was a winner, one was a loser, but I'm green on it because of that profit loss ratio. However, it dropped, and then I gave up and moved on to something else. I was like, whatever. So then at 9 a.m., it gets halted right around 9 a.m. And I pull up the news here, and it says on April 18th, by resolutions of their board, it was determined that the company and 3 of its Australian subsidiaries were insolvent or likely to become insolvent. A voluntary administrator should be appointed under the Australian Corporations Act of 2001. And so they appointed an administrator, and they're suspending operations of the companies. So the stock is still halted. I assume it's going to resume, but probably on the OTC markets. Anyways, just kind of surprising, I guess. I don't know where this move came from. I sort of jumped on in the middle of it, but this might have actually been the one where I was like, it doesn't have news, so I'm going to just test the water a little bit more slowly. But this is a problem with some of these stocks have been beaten up for a long time. They've been beaten up for a long time, and then you can have these offerings, or you can have offerings, or you can have news like this, which is even worse. So anyway, so that's DCFC. Currently it's about 10:30 a.m. BPTH isn't totally dead, but it's also not really giving me any price action to trade. It's well below the highs, but it's above VWAP. So that's that. AGBA, that one's dead. TIRX is dead. ME has a 300 million share float. Just looking at the volume, AGBA is the leader, lower volume. Looking at relative daily volume, BPTH is the winner today, and that's the one I made the most money on. So that lines up and makes sense. That's going to be what I usually would see. High relative volume, sudden increase in demand, relatively low levels of supply with a low float, with a news catalyst, 45 million shares of volume. That's all solid. It's a shame I wasn't able to do better on it, but like I said yesterday, any day I'm walking away green is a good day. So I've got a little more in my pocket than I had a couple hours ago. I think that's pretty good. So I'll be back at it again bright and early, first thing tomorrow morning, live streaming for all of our Warrior Pro members that are, tuned in and our members at Warrior Trading. And then I'll upload my recap later tomorrow afternoon. By the way, if you didn't check out my recent episode on short selling, that might be something you'll enjoy. So check that out. I just uploaded that this morning, and I'll be back at it tomorrow. So I'll see you then. Reminder as always, trading is risky. My results aren't typical, so manage your risk, take it slow, and we'll see you in the morning.